Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gaming Geezer 1965. Yes, finally it's not really the first time used, but for this video it is. Why? I had a problem with recording with my first video because by accident I put in my recording USB connection from the Elgato 4K into the wrong socket, and so I did record the image of the Commodore 64 Ultimate, but I did not record the sound. And somehow the program doesn't tell you when you press record, hey, you got the wrong connection, do you want to continue? No, it's just recording, so I did everything for nothing. So we're back at the beginning, and I am always, if I'm something, then I am honest. So yes, I made a terrible blunder, a mistake, but hey, we're human, and yes, humans bound to make mistake. Okay, let's give it another try. There's a few things that I actually want to show you, a few things I want to tell you, and of course, you get to see some games and a demo or two or so running. You get to see some settings of the Ultimate 64 and why I've chosen this light bulb instead of the cheaper, the regular Commodore 64. Let's start with the reason why I actually wanted a Commodore 64. After my original bread bin died, I've bought myself the C64. When it comes to playing games on it and even programming, it worked like a charm. The thing is that the joystick that was supported survived 1 week of intense playing Turbo Outrun and Decathlon. And then the joystick keeps on sticking to the right, and you cannot play decently anymore because in Ghouls and Ghosts, when you want to stop moving and your character still runs into a big hole in the floor and you die, and you just know that's not my fault, that doesn't make you very happy. So yes, it works, the C64, the keyboard's still working, there's nothing wrong with it, but the solidity of the joystick is a lot to be desired. And I can imagine for the price, because it was pretty cheap compared to this one, I can imagine why. But then at least give me the opportunity to buy a more expensive stick made from the right stuff, including those function buttons. Instead of that, I have to search for all the shortcuts on the keyboard to actually get something done on the system. So I got frustrated and my lust for nostalgia died. But I also follow a few YouTubers that are handling the Commodore 64. One of the more prominent ones are Perifractic from Retro Recipes. As you know, who, together with a lot of other Commodore 64 friends, bought the freaking company. I mean, I like something so much that I'm willing to buy the company. I'm so glad that he did it, because right now I have something that he had long before this ever came to fruition. First of all, he started out with actually repairing and renovating his old system. He was handy with the solder iron and he would get it back to life, and later on his channel, he bought the first Commodore, bought out of new parts, he put back together, and you can connect to a modern TV. And that's where I was starting to think, I want something like this too. I can still have my Commodore 64 games, I can still write some basic stuff, I can still have fun and relive the past from when I was young. And so I was doing some research, but I soon found out that all these parts were pretty expensive. And I was not so sure of myself as he was in picking up a solder iron and actually start fooling around on my own Commodore 64. I had a broken bread bin, I still have the broken bread bin, bread bin I mean, sorry. And I have the C64C, which I bought way later afterwards, when my old one died and I still wanted to continue using it. So, when I saw these videos of him and the more time advanced, those Commodores that he built were becoming more modern and modern. And then he came with that, actually what's in here, the board, the stuff that Gideon Schweizer invented with the FPGA stuff. That's when it started to get real serious. And that was the part where I thought, yeah, I really hope that there will be someone thinking about the Commodore 64 fans that are not as adventurous to take up picking a few parts and making one working unit out of it. So that's where we are today. Today, well, actually way earlier, but yeah. I have ordered mine at the end of 2025, at the end of December, in the time that I had a holiday from the Christmas period. And so the waiting was over. A full system, and yeah, it's still expensive for a retro device, but like Perry said, it is one of a high quality. And I found some videos about the problems that they had in the beginning. In his first video that I saw where he is doing the tour, he showed you, for instance, let's get into the menu so you don't get to see all these letters coming on the screen. The board's supposed to be flexible, but as you can hear, I am quite loudly hitting the keys and you don't see the board wobbling. Also, the most weak point was in the corners. No problem. So, I may have been a bit late to the party, but what I get is a system that has been improved in the short time that is on the market. So first of all, a big thumbs up for the team of Perifractic and everyone involved in making this for the fans like us. And second of all, yeah, the same reason, never mind. It's just amazing that I finally can relive the past, find the new stuff. I know you can run like a Sonic game on it when you activate the expansion module. I haven't been so adventurous in doing that already, but I have been doing some more research on YouTube because I wanted to come prepared. Because I also know the C64 Ultimate is so good in pretending that it's a Commodore 64, it's equally as slow. And that is something that nowadays, with a PlayStation 5's Pro in my case, and Xbox Series X with SSD drives, where big 4K games load in way quicker than a Commodore 64 could load in Commando, or some other of my favorite games like Turbo Outrun. Yeah, that's something that I do not want to suffer anymore. And what I don't understand, and that's the only thing that I might want to say to the team that built this, there's a lot of modern stuff in here, even a turbo to make basic perform faster, and some games also respond pretty good on it. I will dive back into this pretty good and the problems that I run into a little later in the video. But what I would have wanted to see is them also give you an option in this menu. There is so much that you can adjust. So why not, if you go to Turbo Boost, why not put in this menu also an option to make instant loading times, or close to instant as possible? What you can do on this emulation box. Over there, the games were loading very fast. But this one is so realistic that the wait is agonizing. And that's when I started to do some researching on YouTube. And I found another YouTuber And I do want to give him credit, so, oh yeah, never mind, it suddenly springs into my mind again. Monroe World. I was watching a few videos of him. He was showing the menu, so I got a bit familiar on the system even before it arrived in here. But what I saw, what was more interesting to me, was he was getting a device, or oh wait, I'm going to change that flashing because I made some changes yesterday. Rainbow sparkle will be set to SID, no rainbow. So without that flashing that you get. Save, yes. So he showed you how to get, as you can see on my screen, I've already got it activated, Jiffy DOS. And he also showed where to get it, how to get it working on your Commodore 64 Ultimate. And so that was something that I immediately wanted to do, because this is actually something that the team should have done. But okay, now another company can also hijack on the success of this thing, and I'm really hoping it's going to be a success, not only for the fans of the past, but also new fans, because I think, especially a device like this and the FPGA from Gideon Schweizer, it really deserves a spot in the spotlight, because I will show you some very impressive stuff that I never held possible on a Commodore 64. Jeroen Tel, man, I could name a lot of more musicians. Jeroen Tel did the turbo outro music with the Maniacs of Noise, with that sampled audio, which is called like a filter swap or channel trick they did to abuse, or not abuse, misuse, go beyond the boundaries what the SID supposed to be capable of. Oh yeah, the other musician, very famous, Rob Hubbard, for the Commando music, and Crazy Planets, and another Planet game in the same mold. It was either a sequel or a prequel, whatever, that had some amazing music in it. And what these musicians did was, you get 3 channels, but somehow with very quick frequency and sound swapping, sometimes you hear 4 or even more channels, just because they are very good at making arpeggios that are so fast that it almost sounds like chords played on an instrument that can be played with several notes at one time on just one channel. But yes, we're diving way too deep in all these things. This will be the first use case. Now at least you know who I was following to actually know of the existence of things like this, and who I have been following to get a bit more prepared for the arrival for this thing. And I also want to say, the only reason why I went for this see-through version, and also with the Arcade R joystick that I bought together in the same day with the system, is because I have an original bread bin, not working anymore, but I still have it. I have the C64, also in the old trend of the old yesteryear. I still got my original and still working Commodore 64C. So I thought, why would I want to have something again looking the same? Because if I want to look at the old model, I'll just turn my head and yeah, okay, it will not be forever in here. I just put it in here just for the video, so I can show you this. I actually also wanted to get down my original bread bin, but it's looking the same, so that has no use. And a C64C, I love it. I even like the model a bit better than the bread bin model, but this is where it started all from. So as a tribute to the Commodore 64, this is the right choice. And if they would make a C64C version of it, even if the internals and everything would have been kept the same, I would still buy it just for the looks of it. And then I would go for the proper original color. Why? Because, well, it's the very first working model that you can connect to a modern TV at that time for me. But let's continue. So you know a little bit of the history, and I've already also very shortly told you that I was dabbling a bit in BASIC. No, I'm not going to start to do what everybody else does. 10, clear screen, I would always start with that. 20, print hello world. 30, go to 20. No, we're not going to do that. That is way too basic for me. Oh, wrong button. Let's reset. Ah, yes, it works. I have read the manual and they say there is a way to reset your Commodore 64. Okay, that works. Now we go back to the menu. I will show you what I have done. And as you can see, the Jiffy DOS is in there. Oh, let me, sorry, I am jumping from one part to another. I actually first wanted to show you what I've done by the instructions of Monroe World. And that was memory and ROMs. Yes, there it was. Why I'm sometimes so slow? For me, it's still not muscle memory, how the menu works. So when I'm slowing down in my speech and in acting, I'm actually trying to reframe what I saw in the video of Monroe World. And then suddenly it was, oh yeah, I have to search there. But as you can see, we're here. And here they, first at all, when by default it was on none. So, because I saw this video, I know that you can actually put a different kernel ROM in there. And also different kernel ROMs for all your different drives. And the way how it worked in the past was you would buy a replacement chip for your Commodore 64 and you would buy a replacement chip for your, for instance, the one that I still have, the 1541 drive. And the 1541 was amazing for its time, but also amazingly slow due to the design. And Jiffy DOS has made a replacement chip that actually removed that design flaw. And so here we are with an FPGA system with no drive attached to it. So you're not buying chips anymore. I see this as a paywall for a speed increase. Okay, now we are going to continue because it may have been a paywall, and I also will tell you that when you go to the website, if you search for, I forgot the name, I should have written it down, but just search for the video for Monroe World. He's way better in explaining this to you than I am. You can buy two versions, one where you get the part that comes into your Commodore 64 together with the one with the, let me go back, for the 1541. But if you buy the more expensive version, you also get the emulated chips for the 1571 and the 1581. And just like Monroe World, I am thinking more in the line of, if I find programs that were made to take advantage of the features of these newer drives, I also wanted to have this. Otherwise, at the end of, well, when you are running into such things, then I thought to myself, I should have bought the complete package instead of the economic one. And the website that is selling them for the Ultimate 64 does give you a nice discount on the price. So if my memory serves me well, it was like $15 for the basic version for only the 1541, and I guess it was close to $28 or $30 for the complete package with everything on it. And now we are going here. And in all these folders with the games and the stuff on it, and also the Jiffy DOS and the C64, you also get to see Ronald games. It's a disk image that I made on Vice when I didn't have this system, and I was using ChatGPT to brush up my basic skills again, because I could make Snake, but I ran into a lot of problems, and so I just copy pasted the code into ChatGPT, and I was asking him, why does my snake only have a head? The body doesn't grow when you eat food, but still you can crash into a body that you can see. And so there was something with the poke addresses of drawing the body. So it was there, but you couldn't see it. And that's why sometimes I was getting a game over while I didn't see the reason why there was a game over. Because it felt like I was controlling Pac-Man in a very big surrounding. But let me show you. Let's mount the disk so I can show you what's on the disk. I always use the abbreviation, I'm so used to this. Oh, and before I do, I will actually turn off the lighting. Oh, I'm too far. The lighting of my keyboard. Because when you're programming, it's better to be able to see the letters and the codes and the signs on there. So let's go save. Oh, I've already did it, so load. Oh, two more signs there. I made a mistake while creating the disk image. Now it says underscore Ronald and another weird sign. It looks like IAMS instead of Ronald games. So this is the basic version with the problem still persistent. And this is the improved version that I prepared for the C64U. So let's load it up without all the bull poop. It is a bit more typing work than 10 print hello world, 20 go to 10, and this is why I decided to prepare this and just put it on an image disk and load it in for you to demonstrate. Because with this basic program I will demonstrate something else, the turbo function, and that's where things get brilliant. First of all, I'm already amazed that this can actually run in BASIC and work like the Snake game is supposed to work. What I do want to add to this, because it doesn't have this yet, it's now still keyboard control A, S, D and the W for going up. But I want to be able to use my joystick for the control of the Snake. And even building up the main screen is going slowly. So I thought, well, I don't have a chance to actually get a reasonable smooth Snake scrolling on the screen. Wait for it, and there we have it. And this wall that I drew was only to make things a bit more difficult, because if this was only an empty screen, you could go on growing your snake until the Commodore 64 crashes because the snake is too long. And so making an obstacle in the middle, and I'm even going to make it a bit more smaller passing through, so it's more difficult. But yeah, I'm still in the phase of fine-tuning how the game is going to work. So as you can see, it's slow, but it works. Every time that you eat one of these stars, your body actually grows. And the further you get, the slower the game will be. Well, I will crash after this dot. And crash. Score 8. Press key. As you can see, there's a Hall of Fame. There's another problem that I couldn't solve, and that is I wanted to have the first place should have been yellow, as in gold. The second place should have been gray, or silver. And the third place should have been brown, in other words, bronze. But somehow that first place doesn't want to change and the rest don't want to go down. So now the best you can get is you get a silver medal for winning and you get gold medals for being third or lower. But that is just still only for looks. Now we're going into that menu again. Go to Turbo Boost. And as you can see, I've already used it once and more than 2 megahertz is just not playable. Then it goes so fast because when you go for this, let's turn it on like manual. Oh, you can even go by 1. I thought it would go from 2 to 4, but no, it's not. But I will stick to this one, it's good enough. Let's exit, save changes. What I need to remember now, before I show you this game, is when I'm done with this demonstration, always turn the speed, the boost, the turbo boost off. Because especially games that are pushing the system, the old system so to speak, because this system does it with his hand tied around his back and 2 fingers up its nose, but you still get the same problems as on the Commodore 64. When the timing is mismatching, you will get graphical glitches or even crashes in some games. So, and in other games it works, but I think the turbo setting is just most fun for things like this. I say shift, so I want to have a capital R. There we go. And we have a way faster snake now. And so, more challenge. Oops. It's also more easy to misalign your snake with the food. But yeah, this is enough. So as you can see, let's turn it off. So as you can see, the speed boost is fun for basic games. So in this way, I will also try and make a basic version of Tetris. Because then you need to actually combine these Pesky signs, put them together and make one sign of it. And I'm curious if the Commodore 64 keeps the shape intact or if it's trying to getting lost. So it's a nice challenge to see if that works. I don't know if I can actually show it on the channel or if this is a project that it's going to fail, but at least it's fun. Let's recheck. Yes, I've switched it off. And now it's time to tell you what I've done to the system some more. Oh, I'm going to the wrong location then. If I want to show you, we have to go to audio. SID socket configuration, because I told you I had a bread bin and I have a C64C, but I'm not using them anymore, so they are ornaments to look at, because yes, they are still a thing of my past, but I cannot use them anymore. So what I did was I pulled out the chips. I even bought a professional chip puller for it because it was really cheap. And I also bought myself an iFixit complete set with all the screws and the things. I can open up phones now. Not that I'm going to, but I can. But there we are. I've disabled them both because I first want to show you how the system sounds when it's coming out of the box. And that's the most fair comparison. And I will make a new video all about this setup and I will show you some tests. This video will be only about the experience, how you get it out of the box. And the only thing that I have cheated because my patience isn't good enough for the old school speeds, so to speak. So I will still keep on using the Jiffy DOS, but other than that, the system is as you would have buying it from Commodore itself. Yeah, disk 64, no, yes. I already told you about Turbo Outrun. It's not only my favorite race game on this system, no, it's also the one with the, for me, that's my taste, so I'm not telling you that if you have a different favorite than me, that you're wrong. No, for me, the best song ever on the Commodore 64 is The Magical Sound Shower, shower, I don't know, done by Jeroen Tel and the Maniacs of Noise. And they may be maniacs, but I wouldn't qualify the music as noise. Let's go for Turbo Outrun. Oh yeah. Tusker. Oh, I need to go up. There we are. As you can see, I have two versions, and in a different folder I have even a third version, but the Lotus version to me is the best. Why? This one gives you actually the message when you need to flip the disk over to side B of your image of the floppy. The other versions that I have don't give you this message that you need to turn it. The screen starts flashing to tell you that you need to turn the disk. The problem is, during loading, the screen is flashing all the time. So when am I supposed to turn the disk? I don't know. So I'm sticking to the Lotus version because at least you get a proper sign telling you, I need to change the disk. The game is still the same, so that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what version you load up. Usually I would say mount disk because it's fun to do all the commands yourself as if you're working on a Commodore 64. But if you're coming from an emulation box and you just want to have a game console experience, you can just say run disk. And everything is being done by the Ultimate 64, the load command and even the running of the program. Because if it's done, it will just start. And this waiting time is, I feel, more than twice as fast as original. I guess I sound too loud because it's not important that I hear it, it's important that you get a great sound quality on the system. Oh man, even this already sounds cool, and this is a song I don't even know. But let's skip this. Well, I don't even need the trainer, because I'm not going to show you that I'm going to finish the game. I want you to hear the intro. I will not play it fully, because that will be the SID chip check video, where I show you, and definitely more important, let you hear the difference between FPGA SID, the original old bread bin SID, and the original C64C SID. This is just to show you how good it is, and I already will give away this because I do want you to know this, because if you would want to buy a Commodore 64 Ultimate because you saw this video and all the other videos of the people that are enthusiastic about it, I do want to tell you the FPGA SID is amazing. You can even tweak it. I will show you the settings. I will not change anything because I'm already very happy with this. I've already done a comparison for myself, and I can tell you that I'm really, well, not surprised, but really amazed by how close, well, the same, to my ears it's the same, how the same it is to both of these chips. I will explain this again in the SID chip, but all I want you to know is this is the real deal. It will sound like how you want it to sound, and if not, you can tweak it yourself. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3. Outrun. Let's pause it. This is amazing. Man, this sounds just too cool to be true for a system out of 1982. Because this trick only supposed to work properly on the old SID chip, but the emulated chip works better. And I have a surprise for you when we get back to that when I'm going to record the video on the proper all SID chips test. Because, yeah, there's so much in this machine and there's too little time to actually... I will just go and play for a short bit so you can see how it works. And I also want to mention, even if you have an original Competition Pro joystick, go for this one. Not that this one is terrible, this is my old one, like I said in that other video. The one from the box with the extra, even the extra 2 buttons, that was for player 2. And this was my go-to joystick all the time. And it has been used so much that it has less resistance than the newer one that I showed you in the box. But this one is even more, even more fast, smooth, and yeah, let's just continue. So far I left the speaker on, I didn't change the volume, but after this video I am turning it off, or make it at least a bit softer. And why? It's actually handy to hear if the drive is still active, but since in a real system you get more bass, because that vibrating was making the use of the acoustics of the drive where it's in. And here in this plastic casing with much more open space, it sounds more cheap and flimsy, while the rest of this system feels so solid, planted and sturdy. So I don't think it's really good for reliving the past, but it is nice to actually get an audible sign of either my system has crashed because I made a mistake in one of the settings, or I need to wait for unpacking or it's still loading. So you can actually hear the status of the system. Let's skip this. Automatic. And as you can see, it says turn disk. Look, they put an extra message like bottom exclamation mark R. I don't know where that is for, but... And I also wanted to show you how this worked. It will be not on the proper position anymore because I was by accident moving things about. So I have to search for my game again. Enter. And I have to get back to Turbo Outrun again. But I am pretty fast. I need to have the Lotus side B. And now instead of if you make the mistake of running the disk, it will reset the computer and try to start the game from this disk. But this isn't the original bootable disk. So in this case we have to say mount disk. The thing is, all you have to do now is just press the button. And this flashing is faster now JiffyDOS is installed. If you run this on the default settings with the default system, it will flash a bit slower. And also the drive sounds differently. I don't know how they emulated it, if the programming of this FPGA also emulates the proper position of the heads. But to me that's not important. It's just an audible sign that the drive is actually doing something. Well, I'm not going to play this game. So, as you can see, it works. And before I will hit a button while I do not want to. I will leave it here. I want to show you 2 more games from my own collection, and then we'll go to the Starlight demo USB. Because what I did was I took that cassette tape, I copied it on my laptop on this USB stick, and to be sure that I know that I'm only using the stuff that Commodore gives you, I just made a folder called U64S. But it should have been C64U, but never mind. At least I know that this folder contains the content of the USB drive that came with the system. And now I want to show you Commando. Because that also has sound that is very difficult to emulate properly on an imitation chip. This test will also be done on something else that I've bought, but it's not in here. Commando run disk, yes. Let's just do it the lazy way. And that is also what I like, because I still remember my original time with my Commodore 64 drive. It was true that when the game was done loading, the scratching of the head would stop, but the disc would spin for like 1 or 2 seconds longer before it actually stopped spinning. So that is something that I know for sure that this is correct. Do you remember? Yes, I remember. Space to read, run stop to start. Well, let's do just a trainer. No, I want to be able to fall in holes. Switch off the collision? No, I don't. Key for level skip? Why would I want a level skip? Let's do the high score. Oh no, load I mean. Just by looking at these screens, I'm back in 82. Okay, a little bit of playing, and then on to the next one. Whoops. It's not how much people you shoot down, it's if you survive to get through the door. I don't survive, but I'm not here to finish the game. So, this is working, and this also sounds authentic. I know at the moment I don't hear this properly because I got my volume very low. I can just swing along because I can hear the beat a little bit. But like I said, I want you to have the best sound and not me. So I don't have to continuously mixing my microphone level up, down, because I got a lot more to do and there's not much time to edit out my breathing or whatever. It's just a video of me telling you how I find the system. And now I want to do the Guyana Sisters. But if I'm not mistaken, the version in favorites of single disc games, I guess this one had the best version of Guyana Sisters, if I'm not mistaken. So let's do this. And otherwise I will go back to my my alphabetical sorted games. There we have the Guyana Sisters. High save. Yeah, this was the one. And the Ghosts and Goblins is also here. So I will do that one as final, the Ghosts and Goblins one. Because I'm curious, I have a different version somewhere else in the alphabetical part. And I want to see what this version is. If there's a trainer or a different intro on there. Because I have downloaded a lot of different versions to see what's what. It's so nice to check. And this one even has 7 trainer codes. But I can tell you, if you go above the screen and you cannot get to the exit, because your character has to actually pass the exit, you cannot finish the game. So you gotta pay attention to what cheats you're activating. It's best to leave the most things off. Yeah, let's get time. I don't need unlimited diamonds. All times best shot? No, I want to have it regularly. Enemies can't kill you? No. Border collision? I did, yes. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. What happens if I say no? Because I wonder if they need with border collision, if it needs to be on. Because I want the game to behave as it's supposed to do in real gameplay. Yeah, work like fun. Oh no, I don't have my big hair yet. Now I have my big hair. I mean... Ooh, that was lucky right there. Well, actually, this is not a gameplay demo video, so when I finish this level, it's okay with me. It's okay with me. But, yeah, that's cool. One more check, and then I will be going to the demos. I wonder if this is a different version, or if it's the same as that I downloaded myself a long time ago for this one. But for my new Ultimate 64, I wanted to do some more tests, because I think that is the most fun. I mean, these games I've been played to death back in the past. So that's nothing new. But it is fun to go back in the past, and it is a new one because I do not remember this. And it is a trainer version. The one I got also was a trainer version, but maybe this one has better options. Endless life? Yeah. Endless time? Yes, we don't need. Level cheat? Nope. The game has only 4 levels. Weapon cheat? Nope. Invincibility? Nope. Keys installed, level skipper, 1 to 5, choose weapons. I said weapons cheat, no. And what does the game says? You have 1 to 5, you can choose your weapon. No, I don't have a weapons cheat. So, but we will see what is going to happen. And this one is difficult, but I also... Oh, that music. Oh, I want to see who made the music. Chris Butler, sound effects, Mark Kuski. Maybe Mark Kuski then, who also did the sound effects? let me see. Nope, the weapon G doesn't do anything. Or is it the function button? Oh. Okay, I've been checking it out, and now we can try to get at least to the checkpoint, and then we go for the demos. Get it, I want my extra points. Whoa, man. Now I wanted to save my collision problem with this boss. But it doesn't necessarily. I finally timed it properly this time. And this is the checkpoint. Yeah, but I can keep on playing. But we will do this outside of this video. It will be too long. I was too fast. Oh no, I was too fast because I need to go back in this way. I forgot. You need to get back by pointing the arrow to the left. And now I can go to my Starlight demo USB. And this is the contents of the drive that you get with the system. I will first start with this demo. What you will get to see is like a car cockpit, a cool driving effect, I don't know how they did this, and some awesome music, and also storytelling with some different camera viewpoints of a map of the world or something like that. But you will see. And there's even 3 sides, so I haven't watched the full demo yet, but I definitely will when I've done all the recordings that I want for my channel. And I kind of forgot to turn back the lighting. Oh, it's running, so let's just... Oh. LED lighting... Oh yeah. Even a kind of a sprite scaling effect on the Commodore 64. Man! I will finish this one myself and I also want to leave something over for you when you get your system, or even if you already have it but don't know what to watch. But I guess just about everyone starts with the first file. But I must say, yeah, this is amazing. And there was also, I'm again going back with the wrong button, there's also another demo that I truly enjoy, and that was What is the Matrix 2? Also haven't seen it completely, because this is, I'm more discovering and quickly passing through stuff. But when everything starts to feel my own, and then you actually slow down and start enjoying all the games and all the demos in its full, instead of a snippet here, a snippet there. But this is my final free day, tomorrow back to work, and I want to enjoy as much as possible. And already this is an amazing effect, how the demo erases your Commodore 64 start screen. When you do not switch off the turbo, this picture will be completely scrambled on top.
Get back to red pill and remain slave to reality. Get back to blue pill and remain slave to the illusion.
So actually the controller is working in the end, because the first time I clicked and then it went to the other side if my memory serves me well. But I will check that out another time. Wow, I never waited long enough to see this. Nice, but the letters are hardly readable, even though it's a cool effect. But I think the video is lasting long enough. And I want to end the video with a conclusion about the system and what's coming. My conclusion is, before making this video, I ran into a few problems. They were all user errors, not a problem of this system. First of all, I can say, especially if you haven't ordered one yet, if you order one now, you will get the solid version without the problems with the keyboard. So even the flexing that they showed you in the factory tour, that Perry Fractic showed in that factory tour on his still channel that he's got his original videos on, even in that video, even that problem is solved. Even though I wouldn't have mind that if you're pressing a bit faster, that the keyboard is moving a bit up and down, but in the corners it was really sensitive to bending. And then I would have been afraid by if you're too fast typing and you're pressing a bit too hard, because I don't have lightweight fingers, I might damage the keyboard. But in this case, but in this case, you don't have this problem anymore. They've solved it. So now it truly is a thing for the public. And there's only one thing that I think is a shame. Maybe you've seen it in the video as well, but it looked like as if there's a plastic on it to protect this thing, but I don't see a tab to remove it. When I did the unboxing video of this joystick, there were plastic thingies on the fire buttons, but there was a piece sticking out so you could actually grab onto it and pull it off. But now I don't dare to scratch it off because I might damage my badge. So I don't, as a matter of fact, I don't even know if it's supposed to be on there. Is it a protective piece of plastic, or is this just a bit of a sloppy design choice? So, because it looks cool, the letters they match with the colored bars, it really gets that Commodore 64 vibe. But also on the power and on this sign, that plasticky effect, it's actually a bit of an eyesore for me. It's not taking away the fun that I'm having with the system, and I will no longer bring it back in all my other videos because I've just said it and that's enough. And that's the only thing that I think that makes it completely looks very cool and a nice piece to show off to your retro friends. But yeah, this is just too bad. A missed opportunity. I saw an unboxing of the Founders Edition. There was also over the gold part a piece of plastic, but I could see sticking out a part where you could lift it off. So either this is a production mistake or this is supposed to be on there, but if it is, they should have melted it better so it followed the contours of the letters and not that it looks like it's about to let go. And also Nostalgia Nerd also was talking about this. And when I was looking at that video, I thought, yeah, buddy, but you're forgetting to peel it off. This is just a protective case. And now I have my own version, and now I know I can't peel it off without trying something to stick something sharp underneath, and I'm not willing to do so. So, is it worth getting one? Definitely. Especially if you have been a Commodore 64 user beforehand, you can buy this and not be afraid of problems. And also, I would recommend getting this one as well. Not only, especially if you buy the see-through version, you can also buy this one in a regular color. I've bought the see-through version so it will match my Commodore 64 Ultimate. But this one is even better see-through, because in my previous video I didn't put it close enough, I thought. You can even see the thin wires and the stuff. So yes, if I would do this again, I would still say, yeah, this one just belongs to the set. Even though if you got working joysticks yourself, that is a trip down memory lane, and this is micro precision with the same solidness, because I dare to put my hand in the fire and say this is equally as solid and long lasting as that one is. So yes, I will end the video here, and what is coming in the future is, like I've already told you in the video, the SID chip comparison. I will do some game reviews. Not all the games, because there are too many, because I also want to put my other systems in the spotlight on this channel. This will not suddenly be a Commodore 64 channel only, but you will see a lot of it back. And there's something else coming, like I told you in the unboxing video of the joysticks. I had a bit of a bad luck with that, because they swapped packages and now I have a thing where you put your fuse box in for getting power to your home, instead of that what I have ordered. But that will be solved, and then it will be on this channel also. And that's where we will end it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any questions or better, even better experiences of yourself, because I'm actually curious of what you had in the past, I will show you some games that I actually like, and I am even better at playing right now. I've tried one yesterday. I will not say what it is. It will come to the channel. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your experience with the Commodore is. And if you're new to the Commodore 64, are you willing to dive into an 8-bit computer that can do more than that the old manual says? And even the new manual giving you 100% that 80s vibe. That's why it's still here. I keep on reading. I can't get enough of it. So, thanks for watching, and we see each other in the next video. Goodbye!